Hi guys, Christopher Ohms here. Tonight we're going to do a frame staple variant. Now let me back up just a little bit and start at the beginning. At some point, no matter what, some builder is going to take a piece of wire and look at it, and another piece of wire and look at it and go, I wonder what would happen if I did this, and do something to them. Well, somebody, I can't remember who, I want to say Squid Dude, but I don't think that was him. I'm not sure. Um, Came up with stacking ribbon wire together and then fusing it. And it was called a staple. For some reason, they named the coil staple. I tried them once. I don't like the way they vape, so I never built them again. And then somebody else came along and said, hey, I wonder what happens if I do this, and added frames to them, which they built a staple and put round wire around the ribbon wire and then fused that all together, and it became the frame staple. Now I came along, and I'm sure other people have done this. By no means am I saying I invented anything, but I came along and liked the idea of the frame staple coil, but I don't care for ribbon wire. So something that's very close to ribbon wire is square wire. So I started using square wire for my cores for frame staples, Fralians, staggered staple fused Claptons, everything. If it has staple in it, I replace it with square wire. So what we're going to need to build this variant that I do is some square wire. That's first. This is 0.3 millimeter by 0.3 millimeter square nichrome 80 wire. We're going to need 28 gauge wire, just some round wire, and then to make our frames, and then some fuse wire. I'm just using 36 gauge. Nothing real fancy, pretty basic stuff. You need probably 8 to 10 inches of completed build to make 2 coils out of it. So for my frames, I'm gonna get like a 16-20 inch piece and straighten that. So all I'm gonna do with that is fold it in half. And that creates my frames. I'm just cutting up the ends because they're not even. So we'll set that aside. And now to our square wire. Now most wires, if I need 2 of something, I usually take one piece and fold it in half. Some guys don't like doing that. Some guys, it doesn't matter. I get away with it. It doesn't seem to affect me negatively, so I fold wire in half all the time. Square wire is definitely not a good idea to do that with. So now we only need about 8 to 10 inches of this. I'm going to use 2 pieces of 3.3 millimeter by 0.3 millimeter square wire for my cores. I'm only doing 2 because if I only use one piece, there's no real reason to secure it together before I fuse it, and I want to show you how to secure it together for fusing. So there's my 2 pieces for cords. And even though I'm going to bend these again, I always cut the ends off because I kind of like them to be, I don't know, the same, flush. So all you do is you take your 2 cords and get your toothless pliers and they'll naturally flatten out where they're parallel. All you gotta do is bend them. Bend them over, run them through your swivel side. Now I crimp them just to hold them together. Now we can lay that down. I'm gonna have to move this a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So my cores are in my swivel side now. Grab your frames and just run them through too. Through your swivel side. My blind ass. Okay, so now you have everything in your swivel side. What you're going to want to do is have either like some little pieces of ribbon wire. This is 36 gauge fuse wire. You're going to want to have a few of these laying around for this build, because you want to get these cores and frames kind of secured together before you fuse them. So all I do is wrap some 36 gauge around it, 5-6 times, whatever, and crimp it so it kind of flattens everything out in my build. And I'll do 3 or 4 of those each time, or 3 or 4 of those for the total, maybe even, yeah, 3 or 4 of them for the total length of the coils. You definitely want to hit it with your flat nose pliers or your no tooth pliers to make sure that your frames and your cores are running all parallel. Parallel's big. We're going to be coming up, I'm going to be doing some alien stuff and some staggered multi-core stagger fuse Clapton stuff, and parallel is really big when we're talking about cores. When you hear people talk about cores collapsing, they're coming out of parallel and they're turning into, you know, a knot, which is not cool at all. Okay, so this is going to be my last piece of securing the frame staple. So now my cores and my frames aren't going to go anywhere, in theory. So I want a nice clean cut down here, because this is where I'm going to attach it to my drill. So I will grab my cutters, cut it off nice and clean, back to the toothless pliers, and just bend it over. Now it's important that your cores and your frames stay parallel there when you bend it over. Then you can just put it in your swivel side, your drill side swivel. Shorten up this overhang a bit. Grip it together with your finger. Now, okay, so we're ready to fuse, but any rational person's going to go, well, what about all these little core stabilizers? What are we going to do with that? It's simple. Once you get to the core stabilizer, you just slide your core stabilizer ahead, stop fusing, slide it ahead, you're golden. So we're going to take my fuse wire, I put it through my drill side swivel, and let about 2 inches hang over and secure it. Now, my fuse wire actually secures my build to the swivel, as well as starts my fusing process. So kind of slow at first, just to make sure that you are tight. You're just securing the build to the swivel. That's all you want to do at the beginning. Okay, so I'm secure. So now I can actually start fusing the build. Okay, and there we are to our first stabilizer, our core stabilizer. You can either take it off there or just slide it. Expose 2, 3, 4 inches, whatever you're comfortable fusing without anything collapsing, and keep fusing. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to have you sit and wait, because I'm not going to build these and put them into an RDA and vape them. You guys know how to do that. You can do that. That's it. It's that simple. If you want to do these with ribbon wire, Ned Devine, Dwayne Rambo, pretty much you can go on YouTube and say frame staple, and you'll get several videos of people showing you how to stack ribbon wire. It's just not something I do because I don't like it. So that's my take on the frame staple. I also use the square wire for staggered, stapled fused Claptons, for aliens, all kinds of good stuff. So I hope you like it. Like the video if you want, or not. Got any questions? Leave a comment or DM me. Thanks a lot. Peace.